Netflix, come here. Come here, Pimpin. Come here. Come here. Come here. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. No. We didn't ask for this. We did not ask for this. Okay? This is a no. What you guys just did, this is sick. This is disgusting. This is gross. And you know what I want? I want every single person's name. I want every single person involved in greenlighting this show. I'm talking about directors. I'm talking about executives. I'm talking about producers. I'm talking about the entire squad. Everyone and anyone who thought greenlighting a show like this was okay, I want them all investigated. I want it all their internet history. I want it all searched, because this is disgusting. And for those of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, first of all, welcome to the podcast. My name is Drew. I am your host. And before we even get started, head on over to our podcast on Spotify at the Deviant Core Podcast, and we're also on Apple Podcasts and Overcast and Stitcher. So if you want to go ahead and support us, head on over those platforms. For those of you guys who want to end up watching the video, go ahead and head on to our Facebook at the Deviant Core Podcast, and we are also on YouTube. So give us a nice little subscribe and awesome like on this video at the Deviant Core Podcast. So today, Netflix got on some bullshit. Netflix, you on some bullshit right now. For those of you guys who are just tuning in, Netflix greenlighted a show recently called Cuties. Okay, apparently this show is about a bunch of 11-year-olds who apparently are part of a twerking kind of dance crew here, and what it is it centers around this 11-year-old Muslim girl essentially, and she is parents are conservative or whatever they're trying to paint, and apparently she discovers this dance crew that basically do all these twerking and all that stuff like that, and she wants to be free to explore herself and shit like that. First of all, these are 11-year-old Netflix. These are 11-year-olds wearing sexually suggestive clothes, dancing in sexually suggestive manner. No one asked for this. No one was sitting there and saying, hey, you know what would be great? A bunch of 11-year-old dressed half naked, dancing around, shaking their butts. That's what we want to see as the American people. No one greenlighted, no person wanted to watch this. No one asked for this. So it made me wonder, who are y'all making this for? And for those of you guys who are paying attention to this, the outrage that Netflix got was insane. And they recently issued an apology. And we'll get into an article, because I got an article about it. They recently issued an apology, but it wasn't about the show itself. It was actually about this poster that they released. And they also, oh my God, the description of the show was just disgusting. It was sickening. But let's get into the story here. So Netflix has issued a swift mea culpa after a strong backlash today around the marketing of its forthcoming release, Cuties. The largely well-received French-language pick won the World Cinema Dramatic Directing Award at the Sundance this year. It follows Amy, an 11-year-old girl who joins a group of dancers named the Cuties at school and rapidly grows aware of her bourgeoning femininity. What? A burgeoning femininity. Bro, she's 11. What do you mean? Upsetting her mother and her values, the film is rated 82% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, and critics generally praised it for its handling of its sensitive topics. Bro, what? Sensitive what? This is like the stuff that people seriously like hurt other people for doing. This is dangerous. We're in the age right now where literally there's rampant pedophilia going on. Like we got child sex trafficking, all the stuff that's huge. And all of a sudden, a show from France about 11-year-olds twerking, a child finding her femininity. No. That's the description they said in this article. A child discovering their femininity in the age of all this child sex trafficking going on. You see how dangerous this is? Am I the only one here freaking out, or what? Does anyone else not see this? Let's read on. So, Netflix recently began promoting the movie ahead of its September 9th release on the platform. However, the company artwork has provoked a storm of online criticism, with many saying the poster sexualizes children. One Twitter user called it disgusting, while another said Netflix really messed up here. Here's another poster that sparked the backlash. So it was this guy over here. For those of you guys who are watching, if you guys are listening, it's literally I don't even want to have this up for anymore. It's pretty much a bunch of young girls in pretty much skimpy outfits that are in the photo, and it was sickening. But first of all, I don't just have a problem with the artwork. I have a problem with that show. I ended up watching the trailer for this thing, and the thing made me even more sick. So in one of the trailers, the mother of the Amy, the 11-year-old, was basically like, so how old are you? And it was like, okay, you're 11. And she was like, you're a woman now. You're becoming a woman now. And I'm just like, for those of you guys who haven't watched the trailer, like, first of all, I don't suggest it. But second of all, if you have to, just to verify, she literally called her mother, the woman playing Amy's mother in the show, called her 11-year-old daughter a woman. She's becoming a woman now. Mothers, let me ask you some questions. Mothers, all you mothers out there, all you mothers listening to this out there, if you got any child that's below the age of, let's say 12. No. Let's say 13. Would you, it's a young girl, would you sit there and consider your young girl a woman? I don't think so. This is, so what we have to pay attention to is we gotta start understanding, guys, that we're heading into some interesting times. We're heading into some really interesting times where there, almost some of the things that you would almost call a conspiracy, when people want to like talk about, certain things going on behind the scenes and certain powers that be pulling certain strings. I mean, the fact that no one asked for this show, no one said that they wanted this show, and the fact that they're putting it here and they're putting it out, I don't know anymore. All I gotta say is y'all gotta start waking up. Y'all gotta start waking up. It's getting real. It's getting real because there's really no real progress on this sex trafficking thing going on. It seems like the more we dig into it, the bigger the freaking web becomes. I mean, it's been under our nose this whole time, and we haven't taken the time to really even pay attention to it. Now it's all coming to the light, and all of a sudden, we're seeing give an inch, you take a mile. Give an inch, you take a mile. Y'all got to start waking up. Y'all, every single one of y'all who saw this trailer, I want y'all to go out there and literally tell Netflix that this is not okay. This is not okay. Because, and also parents, now y'all got to start paying extra close attention to what your teenagers are going to be watching. You got to start paying extra close attention to all the signs and the signals that's literally starting to be bombarded. Because some of the stuff that we were talking about, maybe conspiracy here, maybe not be conspiracy there, I don't know. The stuff that they're putting in schools, the stuff that they're putting in education, the way they're classifying things, it's all coming to a head. The way I see it, the easiest way to take over is little by little, right on the nose of people who aren't paying attention. And you guys got to start waking up, because something like this, I mean, they just changed the description of the initial show itself, but what it was before was this: Amy, 11, becomes fascinated with the twerking dance crew, hoping to join them. She starts to explore her femininity, define her family traditions. Like, what is this? What the? Wake up. Wake up, man. Like, this is really getting real. Like, it almost makes me want to believe that there is an actual agenda. There's an agenda going on, because no one asked for this. No one asked for this show. This is absolutely disgusting. I don't think we should be sexualizing 11-year-olds. I don't think we should even start putting that idea into their minds. Like, let kids be kids. They're not ready to explore their femininity. That's not a thing for 11-year-olds, okay? That's a thing for people who are 17, 18, in their early to late 20s, okay? They want to explore their feminine side. Go ahead and explore that shit, but not when you're 11. 11, you go to summer camp. 11, you go sleepovers with your friends. You don't wear sexually suggestive clothes in front of millions of adults to see. And they said this the show originally started in France. I want to know the names. I want to know who those people are that decided that putting this on air was okay. I want to know who they are. Get their names, get their credentials, get their numbers, everything, and put them on blast. This is not okay. These are kids. They don't need to be seeing this stuff. Like, I think now, if there isn't a clear signal that we need, like a bigger bat signal that we need to say, hey guys, okay, all this stuff that we've been seeing subtly being slipped here and there, where, like, parents, we got to start taking responsibility. We as parents now, we can't leave it up to these companies. We can't leave it up to these companies to have our best interests at heart. We can't leave it up to these big institutions to have our kids' best interests at heart. Okay, you have to start paying a little bit more attention to what your kids are seeing on TV, what your kids are seeing on social media, and all these other things. Okay, you might think it's the responsibility of your teachers, but they got other kids to worry about aside from other than your own. All right, so it's just too much. And these companies, they don't care about what you see on TV or if it's beneficial for your kids or not. They care about making money. That's all they care about. So they don't care if stuff like this gets on TV that influences your child and thinking it's okay to dress like that. Like, no, seriously, who are you dressing for? Who are you dressing like this for, if not for adults? Let's just be real for a second, guys. Let's just be real. This is some sick nonsense, and it needs to stop. And every parent out there, I sincerely urge you to speak out against this, to tell these companies that this is not okay. Like, we shouldn't be watching this. Like, we shouldn't be. And that's all I got about that, man. Like, that actually kind of worked me up, because for me, it hit close to home. This is crazy. We have a big problem right now with child sex trafficking, and all of a sudden we want to put garbage like this on TV. And then when we talk about, like, conspiracies and stuff like that, and I don't like to get a whole lot into it, but, like, you see stuff like that, and you can't help but to think that, like, first of all, we didn't ask for this. So why is this? Who is putting this here? Who is deciding that, okay, Americans should watch this show? I don't care what France does. Let France do what France does over there, okay? Let them watch the stuff that they want to watch over there. But we don't do that over here. We're different. We should be. So, I mean, it goes to show you, man, when people talk about the state of kids nowadays, when we talk about the state of children, and how you know, when I've talked to parents, man, they talk about how disrespectful kids are being, how just out of touch and things like that their kids are, and all this stuff. They're all more into their devices and stuff like that. Now is the time, man. This is a wake up call. Start spending more time with your kids. Start understanding what it is that they're doing, man. Because some of the stuff and content that's out there ain't really meant to help them. It's meant to influence them in a certain type of way. They shouldn't be. They're kids, man. When I was 11, I was at summer camp. Okay? I was doing summer camp. I was hanging out with other kids. I was doing what other kids needed to do. Even girls that age didn't dress like that. Parents knew how they should dress. You wear jeans or overalls. That's what it is. But stuff like this, it's gradual. It's gradual. And if we don't put our foot down at some point and say, hey, man, Like, we as parents, like, especially in this country, we're not okay with this. Stop it. But that's all I got to say about that. It's weird. It's sick. I just want to share that out there with you guys. And for those of you guys who watched this till the end, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Show your support by watching this video on Facebook. Go ahead and like our page. We're also on YouTube as well. Go ahead and subscribe there. And if you guys who are just listening, go ahead and check us out on Apple Podcasts. We're also on Overcast, Spotify, and Stitcher. All right. It's been a pleasure, and I will see you next week.